Hey, so for this video, I am showing you how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So for this situation, I still have the fraction cards that, that you guys were supposed to print out. And I still have them separated into two different groups. I have where there are single digit denominators and then double digit denominators. So I'm still going to just use the single digits for right now. If you want a challenge and you want to use the double digits, that's something that's up to you. I just wanted to give you that option as you're at home practicing these. So since you are making the equation and the number sentence, you need to be very careful with which fraction you're putting first. Because right now in the 5th grade, we are not working with negatives. So we want to make sure that when we grab two fractions, like I grabbed 1/2 and 3/8, you want to make sure that you're not trying to take 1/2 from 3/8. 1/2 is larger than 3/8. So you cannot take 1/2 from 3/8. Okay, we're just not there yet. That's just not what we're doing. So just make sure before you make your equation that you're putting the larger fraction first. Okay, so this equation is going to be 1/2 minus 3/8. Okay, and what do you notice first about my denominators? My denominators are not the same. So can I subtract them? No. I have to find a common denominator, right? So the way that we do that, if it doesn't just come to you, is we list our multiples. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to list my multiples for 2, and I'm going to list my multiples for 8. So I'm just going to count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I always like for y'all to go to 5 multiples. You typically get it in that whenever we're working with these smaller fractions. So sometimes you may not need to go all the way to 5. Sometimes you may need to go a little bit further. But I like to kind of just stop at 5. So now I'm going to count by 8, 8, 16, 24, 32, 1, 2, I'm at 4. 40. Okay, and so now I try and see what numbers do they have in common. Okay, and you want to choose the smallest number that they have in common so there's less simplifying after you have completed your equation. Okay, so they have 8 in common. Okay, so that is now going to be my new denominator. So I need to take 1/2 and 3/8 and I need to find equivalent fractions for them. Okay, so 1/2 equals something over 8. 2 times what is 8? It is 4. If I multiply the bottom by 4, I must multiply the top by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. So my equivalent fraction for 1/2 is 4/8. So I have 4/8. And looky here, 8 is already there. So 4/8 minus 3/8 equals 1/8. So my answer is 1/8. Oh, you can't really see that. So my answer is 1/8. Okay, pretty easy. So let me go ahead and maybe grab another one. Let's do another one. Let's try let's try 4/5 minus 1/3. Let's do, I have 4/5 and I have 1/3. Okay? So a quick way, if you wanted to see which fraction was larger, is you could butterfly multiply. So you could do like 3 times 4 is 12, 5 times 1 is 5. My 12 is on this side. Do y'all remember all that? If you don't, holler at me and we'll look it up, okay? So 4/5 is larger, so I'm going to take the 1/3 from the 4/5, okay? So 4/5 minus 1/3. What do we notice about these fractions? They have unlike denominators. So we have to find a common denominator. And a lot of you can look at this and you know that the common denominator is 15. But I'm going to go ahead and list the multiples out for you, okay? I'm going to list out my multiples of 5, my multiples of 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And I look and I say, what numbers do they have in common? They have 15 in common. So that is going to be my least common multiple, and it's now my new denominator. So my new denominator. Okay, so I'm going to set up and create equivalent fractions with my new denominator. 4/5 equals something over 15. So what I always tell y'all to do is ask yourself 5 times what is 15? 5 times 3 is 15. If you multiply the bottom by 15, you have to multiply the top by 15. If you multiply the bottom by 3, you have to multiply the top by 3. Okay. So 4 times 3 is 12. 12/15 is our equivalent fraction to 4/5. Okay, and then we have 1/3. 1/3 equals something over 15. 3 times what is 15? It's 5. If you multiply the bottom by 5, you have to multiply the top by 5, and you get 5/15. So 12/15 minus 5/15. Okay, we have common denominators, so we can just multiply our numerators. 12 minus 5 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 7. Yes, I count on my fingers. And then our denominator stays the same. Okay, so our answer is 7/15. So 4/5 minus 1/3 is 7/15. Okay, let me know if you need any help with that.